Red Stripe Football Monday is coming tonight from the Stadium East Field, the home field of Cavalier Football Club, and they're up against another city giant in Arnett Gardens. Both former champions. Arnett Gardens, 5-time winners of the Premier League. Cavalier, they've been champions just once. Both of them sitting just outside a playoff spot and looking for 3 points tonight.
Now, a few days ago, you would have witnessed the heavyweight championship between Wilder and Fury. And though tonight is not a boxing matchup, two heavyweights face off as Arnett Gardens, the Junglists, visit Cavalier FC. My name is Shawana Ebanks, welcoming you to Red Stripe Monday Night Football action. Of course, I am with these two smashing gentlemen, Donald Oliver and Lance Whitaker. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Where do we begin, Lance Whitaker?
Well, it's a tough match between two teams that have battled tremendously for decades in local football, both from Casapo, which is the Kingston and St. Andrew region, and also nationally. We had Cavalier playing undefeated against Arnett Gardens 5 times last year, but this year Arnett Gardens have beaten them both times they've played, so a lot to play for tonight.
That's right, Donald. A whole lot to play for. Your input on this?
You know, in the past, both these coaches or teams in particular would have complained about the league being too physical. So these two teams are exponents of the beautiful game, and we've seen some brilliant goals in this contest. Of course, the last time they met, some 6 goals were scored. So, you know, I expect something similar tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the goals that were scored on Sunday. Here are the results.
Yeah, good result here for Dunbeholden. 2 goals from Nicoy Christian in a 2-0 win over Harbour View. Portmore United losing their 4-game winning streak, losing to a Teddy Johnson strike to Tivoli Gardens. Humberland, 4 wins now from their last 5 matches, winning over Vere United. Mount Pleasant, 1-0 over Malines. We've got Mount Pleasant now with 4 wins in a row and looking to pressure Waterhouse at the top of the table. Of course, Waterhouse 3-1 over UWI in their Sunday fixture.
Yep, Shawana, Lance, and the top of the table is pretty tight at the moment. Waterhouse and Mount Pleasant, they're both on 53 points. Humberline a little way back in 3rd. Portmore United, Dunbeholden, and Tivoli Gardens complete the top 6. But you see that little group right after 6, 7, 8, 9. Arnett Gardens, Cavalier, of course, meeting tonight. Harbour View, there or thereabouts. All these teams are seeking to be in the top 6, and it's really going to be close.
Yeah, some problems for Vere United midweek because they have run into some problems here with using an ineligible player. In last week's Monday night fixture that we carried live, they used an ineligible player, Javier Brown, and this means that the 2-0 loss that they suffered to Harbour View remains a defeat, but they now suffer a 3-goal penalty for that, so it's a 3-0 margin of victory for Harbour View. So no change in the point standings, but the goal difference affected for Vere United, who are in real problems anyhow because they haven't won in their last 14 matches.
And we would think they would have learned a thing or two from Arnett Gardens, who had a similar situation a few weeks ago.
Yes, that's right.
All right, now let's take a look at the 4 last meetings between Arnett Gardens and Cavalier. In March 2019, Cavalier got the better of the Junglists 3-0. It was a 0-0 draw in April. Down in October, Arnett Gardens got the better of Cavalier 2-0. And in November 2019, in a 6-goal affair, Arnett Gardens defeated Cavalier 4-2. Now, Donald, what do Cavalier Football Club need to do tonight to get the win over Arnett Garden and to stop this three-peat that Arnett Garden is looking forward to?
Well, it's going to be a little bit difficult. You know that Nicholas Hamilton is gone, so too is Alex Marshall. So as usual, they're going to try and dominate the possession, and I think they'd have to score first. They have to put Arnett Gardens on the back foot, because if Arnett Gardens are in control of this one, well, it's going to be difficult for them to get back in it. And of course, for both these teams, but Cavalier especially, because they're below Arnett Gardens, they need the maximum points.
Now, Lance, what about Arnett Gardens? You know, they have lost their assistant coach, Irvinia English, a few days ago. Yep. Of course, we continue to send our condolences to the Arnett Gardens family and all those who were close to Irvinia English. What do they need to do tonight, Arnett Gardens?
Well, I think they'll go into this match sort of feeling in a dedication mode, trying to play this game in memory of their fallen assistant coach. But they've got speedy wingers, players like Steve Clark up front, and they need to utilize the speed, especially in transition, to try to hurt hurt this Cavalier defense. And they also must fix their defensive woes. They have been really awful, this Arnett Gardens team. Their defense is the third worst in the league at the moment, and they haven't had a clean sheet since early December. So problems there for them. They've got to fix that.
And Cavalier will be looking to exploit that tonight against Arnett Gardens FC. Now let's take a look at what you can expect on the home of champions before we head to our first break. The Los Angeles Clippers are up against Houston Rockets. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. 9 ECT on Sportsmax. More NBA action on Sportsmax Thursday at 10:30 p.m. 11:30 ECT when the champions last year, Toronto Raptors, face off against the Golden State Warriors. La Liga on Saturday on Sportsmax 2. Atletico Madrid plays Sevilla Saturday at 10 a.m. 11 ECT. And Barcelona will be looking for a win against Real Sociedad on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. 1:30 ECT as they chase Real Madrid. They are a point behind them on the tables. You can watch on Sportsmax 2. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We continue our build-up. Arnett Gardens, they are here at Cavalier FC. Both teams looking for 3 crucial points tonight as they try to make their way to the top 6 in the Red Stripe Premier League.
Has never been clear.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this piece of play. I'm gone.
We are ready.
The role is to continue to drive for the development of the game here. Although players are selected from clubs abroad, they were developed in the league.
They're really quality players and they have really good attitude and you get your money's worth.
This match has turned up several gears.
Welcome back to Stadium East Football Field on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. It is a windy and chilly night in our neck of the woods, 25 degrees Celsius to be exact. Of course, this is Red Stripe Monday Night Football action as the Junglist, 5-time champions Arnett Gardens are visiting Cavalier Football Club. My name is Shawana Ebanks. If you are just joining us, we do hope you have been enjoying our pregame show so far. Now, Donald Oliver will tell you a little bit more about the home team tonight, Cavalier Football Club.
Thank you, Shawana. Yep, Cavalier, they have been champions once, but they're seeking that elusive second title. Of course, they were founded in 1962, and they are located in the parish of St. Angelo. Last season, they were beaten finalists, and they'll be hoping to go even further this season. But they have the issue of trying to get into that top 6, which is proving to be a little bit difficult, especially with the fact that they are a team in transition. But they do have this youngster back in goal, Jaden White. He's been here for a couple of games since his return from Humble Lion, and of course he was a leader when he was at St. Andrew Technical High School last year, and he's pretty much a vocal presence in goal for Cavalier. And of course he can be spectacular when he pulls off the saves as well, Jaden White. And of course he's obviously a player to look ahead to.
Yeah, still just 19 years old, Jaden White, and has already caught the attention of the national senior coaches. And here's another teenager with a lot of promise. Dwayne Atkinson scored twice in Cavaliers' last 2 matches. Scored in the 1-1 draw against Tivoli in mid-February, and last week scored in one of the 3-0 goals in the 3-0 victory over UWI. So the Kingston College man is looking for more goals here tonight. Everdean Scarlett is the man in charge at Cavalier as the assistant coach.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, in your last match against UWI, you scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. How do you plan on getting such a quick start again tonight?
We just have to come out tonight and, you know, start the game fast like how we start the UAE game, and hope we get the goals.
And what was the plan to get that happening?
As I said, you know, just come out, don't relax, start the game fast, an up-tempo game, and we should get some goals.
Now, Captain Siobhan Marsh said it's time to separate the men from the boys. Will a win tonight start that separation process?
Yes, definitely. He made a big statement, and I agree with him 100%. It's time for us now to make a statement and try to make a run in the league.
Semi-finals last year, can you do one better this season?
Yeah, definitely. We are doing some work in training, hoping to get past. You know, it's 2 seasons we went to the semi-final, so this season we are hoping to do one better this season.
And what are some of the work that you have been doing in training?
Getting the forward, scoring a lot of goals, you know, passing. You know, our style of football, it never changed. You know, we're hoping to pass the ball a lot more, you know, and getting into the final.
Arnett Gardens 5-time champions of the Red Stripe Premier League. Their first title way back in 1978. The last one, 2017. They've been champions twice in the last 6 years, this Arnett Gardens team. Not in the best of form at the moment. They were quarter-finalists last year, where they were eliminated in the playoffs by, guess who? Cavalier FC. Among the key players for Arnett Gardens tonight, their young midfielder Romeo Guthrie, who comes in here with a lot of promises. 21-year-old former Charlie Smith captain, has scored 2 goals already for the season, and the coaching staff has been very, very pleased with his development and the maturity he's been showing at this level.
And here's another one, Paul Wilson. And he would have been a part of a successful Glenmuir team back in 2012, Paul Wilson. And, well, so much was expected of him at that young age. And I'm not sure if he has fulfilled his potential, having witnessed his rise in schoolboy football. But, yep, still trying to make a mark in the business here. Let's take a listen to what the coaching staff has to say.
Lamar, firstly, we'd like to offer condolences to the Arnett Gardens Football Club on the loss of your assistant coach, Irvinia English, earlier this week. How has it been these last few days?
Well, words can't explain our grief today. It's devastating towards the team, the coaching staff, and everybody. Wolmer's Arnett and community of Watos as well. But nevertheless, we have a task at hand, and Irving English would want us to get that 3 points for him tonight as a Warrior.
Now, after beating Cavalier 2 times this season, how confident are you in a three-peat?
Well, them said that you can't take any team light, even though we have won the last 2 games, but it's 3 points as usual. Focus and ready to go as the whistle blow.
Although it's a long shot, do you think this coaching staff in their first season can deliver a trophy to the jungle?
In any coaching job, our aim is to bring a trophy to the community. So, nevertheless, we're hoping that we could do that based on what is happening in the community as well. Because crime is in the community and we want to give them a trophy to alleviate all of that.
All right, guys, you just heard from the coaching staff. Let's take a look at what you can expect to see coming up on Sportsmax this week. We have RSPL action, but not on a Monday night. On a Sunday night, UAFC will play Portmore United Sunday at 3:30 p.m., 4:30 ECT on Sportsmax 2. We have La Liga action on Sportsmax 2 Saturday at 10 a.m., 11 ECT when Atletico de Madrid plays Sevilla. More La Liga action on Sportsmax 2 when the mighty Barcelona play Real Sociedad Saturday, 12:30 p.m., 1:30 ECT. And of course, Sportsmax is where the La Liga lives, so you can see Levante play Granada Sunday, 10 a.m., 11 ECT. So as I mentioned earlier, a few days ago, the assistant coach at Arnett Gardens, Irvinia English, passed on. He was a former Jamaican national player. He played for Waterhouse Football Club. He won the Manning Cup with Norman Manley High School. He was the assistant coach at Wolmer's Boys as well. He really contributed a lot to Jamaican football, and we would still like to offer our condolences to his family, to the Arnett Gardens Football Club, to the community of Waterhouse, to everyone who knew and loved Irvinia English. All right, we're going to take a break. We return with more as we continue our build-up to this exciting Premier League game between Arnett Gardens and Cavalier FC.
All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Juventus Milan, Wednesday, March 4th, 1945 GMT. All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Napoli-Inter, Thursday, March 5th, 1945 GMT.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this piece of play. I'm gone.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Banner pour them a sing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out. Man shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run the marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
You're tuned in to Red Stripe Premier League Monday Night Football action, and we are live from Stadium East Football Field when Cavalier FC one-time champions take on five-time champions Arnett Gardens. It is 7 versus 8. Who will make it to the top 6, if any? Of course, tonight will be an indication of that. My name is Shawana Ebanks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Home of Champions. Of course, you know, we love to hear from the fans. They usually have a lot to say. They're like the sideline coaches. So this is where I'm going to turn it over to the finalists. Let them have a say.
My name is Shakim Stora, and I'm a spectator of Cavalier Soccer Club. I'm a spectator of Cavaliers from 10 years now.
My name is Roman Elliott. I support Arnett Garden from 2010. Look out for Cameron Malcolm. You see me? Fabian Reed. You see me? Arnett Garden, Tree Love. You see me? Big style. Look out for Paul Wilson. You see me? Big number 5 now back. You see me?
Just watch out. The number 24, Kamai Simpson. Senior. Mega Chan. Number 13, Dwayne Atkinson. Number 10, Trevor Messi Man.
Big up my coach, you see me, Dada, English, you see me, Arnett Garden for life. More strength and more love, you see me, English rest in peace, Arnett Garden for life.
Cavaliers, never switch. Big size, 3-piece, not KFC chicken, 3-piece, big size.
Never switch. Our down, rise to the top, Arnett Garden for life. Who do I come with? We're not afraid of nobody. We're not afraid of nobody. Tell them that. We're not afraid of nobody. Who them I come with? Them I come with them bully. We just bully them down. And just go to the jungle and restart back over. Arnett Garden for life. Big up, one love. Eat it.
Look on it. Big size. Remember that.
Such passionate fans we have there, and as I mentioned, we love to hear from them because they always have something so exciting and entertaining for us. Now, for our actual analyst and commentator team, I turn it over to Donald Oliver and Lance Whitaker.
Thank you, Shawana. In the words of the finalists, Yuzumi. Lance Whitaker. I think that one's the best one yet, actually.
I think so too, yes.
Yeah, they are really fanatics in every sense of the word, and one of them, I suppose, will get a lot of ribbing after the game because, you know, it's not going to go there unless it ends in a draw, of course, but for one of them it won't go their way. But as we take a look at the table, because it's pretty close, Lance, of course it's close at the top, but it's also close for that battle for 6th spot.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you look at the team that is in fourth at the moment, the defending champions, Fortmore, they're only on 42 points. Yes, they have a game in hand, well, 2 games in hand on some of the other teams, but they appear with 5 rounds of matches to go to still be within reach of like an Arnett Gardens or even a Cavalier if results go their way. So there's still a lot to play for here. Just this gap of just 7 points between 4th and 9th at the moment. So the battles for the playoff spots will continue from now to the end of the regular season.
Just got breaking news that Moulins FC will now be playing their home matches at Waterhouse FC. So their remaining matches will be contested at Drewsland as they push, dare we say, for a playoff spot.
Unlikely, but not impossible mathematically, but I would think that is a bit beyond them with just 5 matches remaining in the season.
Yeah, we saw Portmore where they were in the table, and after a pretty slow start, eventually beginning to show their pedigree. We've seen Arnett Gardens in this position before, of course, on their way to a title a couple of seasons back, where they made the charge from 6th all the way to the championship. So this is not something that Arnett Gardens in particular they are not used to. We've seen them do it before, and the hope is that they can do something similar again this season.
Yeah, for their fans though, they would be a little bit worried about the fact that they aren't showing the gears. Arnett Gardens is a team that usually has gears, and when they turn it on, it's hard to stop them. But so far this season, they have been sputtering, and the all-conquering Arnett Gardens team of 3 or 4 years ago is absent from this current setup. But you know, if you look at their roster, overall, they do have quality there, and if the players rise to their best form, they could in fact challenge for the title.
Cavalier in particular, we know what type of team they are in terms of them investing in youth, and of course they would have sold a couple of their players, the likes of Alex Marshall and Nicholas Hamilton. So that that era has ended, but they still demand that possession-based football. Is it something that you're expected to see, especially with the likes of Dwayne Atkinson and Ronaldo Webster making more appearances for them?
Well, I think their problem is that because Alex Marshall and Nicholas Hamilton aren't there anymore, the transition game will be hurt by that, because Hamilton and Marshall gave Siobhan Marsh, their captain, that sort of attacking combination up front that made the midfielders want to push the ball forward to them all the time. So the lesser experienced players will have that shoulder, that burden on their shoulders to try to keep that up. But good, talented teenagers in their starting roster tonight. Of course, Dwayne Atkinson, 17 years old, and Ronaldo Webster, 18 years old. The goalkeeper is 19 years old, so that blooding of young teenagers in the top flight you spoke of just now, still evident in this Cavalier team.
Arnett Gardens, they have been conceding a lot of goals, and to be honest, it isn't new, right? Arnett Gardens is an attacking team, and their mindset is, we'll outscore you. So them conceding isn't new, but they have been lacking the firepower, haven't they? And with the fact that there's no more Visional Harris, their playmaker as well, they're going through a transition too.
Yeah, problems for Arnett Gardens, you are correct. They have always given up goals, but the fact is that they always score many goals to counter the fact that they give up goals. Right now their goal difference is -3, which tells you that although defensively they continue to be a little bit shaky, they aren't making up for that with goals. They haven't kept a clean sheet, this Arnett Gardens team, since the 2nd of December when they beat Mount Pleasant by 1-0. And at the moment their scoring, their concession rate is very, very, very high. Defensively, they are the 3rd worst team in the league at the moment, giving up 41 goals. Only Malines with 47 and UWI 48 have given up more goals than they have.
But the game is being delayed by a few minutes. We're still trying to get confirmation as to what exactly is the issue. Of course, those are the officials in charge, led by Daniel Parchment, who will be the man in the middle for this particular game. And the teams, well, we're expected to see them line up any minute now. But yeah, it's not the best start that you would expect in a live television game on a Monday night. But let's hope that whatever it is, it's being sorted out quickly and the teams get ready to do battle.
Yeah, there is Damien Hart, who was in the goal for Arnett Gardens in their match last week. He starts on the bench tonight. Siobhan Marsh, the former Calabar man, with a captain's armband for this Cavalier team. And interestingly, as I said, Arnett against Cavalier so far this season have been 100% with their success winning rate, and looking to keep that tonight to complete the sweep over Cavalier for the 2019-2020 season.
Well, the teams are about to enter the field of play, and boy, don't they need to play. Arnett Gardens and Cavalier, they have blown hot and cold this season, but right now they need to be really hot as they push for the playoff spot. Right now they are 7th and 8th, but they need the maximum 3 points, don't they? They really do, if they harbor any hopes to continue their trek to the Red Stripe Premiership. We now pause for the playing of the national anthem.
Check. Please stand for the national anthem of Jamaica.